What's up, guys? Obviously, it's Captain Obvious, and welcome to the Armory. In today's episode, I will be reviewing the M4A1. The M4A1 is unlocked as your default engineered weapon for the US side, and at 145,000 score, you'll unlock it for the Russian team. To begin with, let's go over the statistics for the M4A1. The damage on this weapon is 25 to 14.3 with a drop-off beginning at 8 meters and ending at 50 meters. Shots to kill in core mode are 4 to 7, and in hardcore mode that drops down to 3 to 5. Damage per bullet up to 8 meters is really something standard. There really isn't anything to talk about regarding that, but that minimum damage of 14.3 is pretty much exclusive to the carbine category. It's a lot less than the assault rifles, the LMGs, and the pistols at that. Or some of the pistols at least. So you have to be wary that your weapon will kill a whole lot slower at longer range than some of the other weapons. It's really not that much of a concern with the M4 because of its pretty much controllable recoil pattern and the fact that its rate of fire is higher than a few other weapons. But still, that 14.3 damage at longer range will pretty much hinder you to get some reliable kills at that range. I always recommend you guys burst fire with this weapon to get as many headshots on target as possible, because you will not kill in a fast enough time to allow the enemy to not be able to react. That said, and we'll talk about this in a little bit, but the M4 is really not made for longer range combat. You can get away with it with some of the other carbines because that's kind of what they're designed for, but the M4 and a few other carbines are not made for longer range combat, and try not to use it because of that lower damage. The rate of fire for the M4A1 is 800 rounds per minute. It has a muzzle velocity of 580 meters per second. Maximum range is 870 meters. You can fire this weapon in full auto and semi-auto mode, and a suppressive effect is 7.0%. Now, I know I'm going to probably contradict myself about what I just said regarding using the M4 or pretty much any other carbine at longer range because of that lower damage. But the M4 has something unique with it. It has the muzzle velocity and the range of an assault rifle. A lot of the other carbines have a muzzle velocity and range that are about 200 to probably 150 lower than what the M4 has. Its range and muzzle velocity both can compare to an assault rifle, meaning it is exactly pretty much used in that way. When the M4 is used at longer range, it can survive, it can hold its own because of that longer range and muzzle velocity. Muzzle velocity of 580 meters per second is exactly the same as the SCAR L, the AEK 971. It's a little bit higher than the G3. So looking at these pretty much great assault rifles, in some cases, I'm not going to exactly say the SCAR L is great, but the M4 is capable of holding its own at longer range, and you guys should pretty much use it at that range if you feel you can get your shots off and get that kill in a good amount of time. Some weapons kill faster than the M4 at longer range, like the SCAR H, but the M4 is still a viable long-range weapon. Reload times are 1.90 seconds and 2.60 seconds when you're empty. Cancel time reloads are 1.425 and 1.95 seconds. Threshold is 0.75 and the magazine size is 30 rounds plus 1 in the chamber. The M4 just keeps getting better and better, doesn't it? These reload times are the fastest in the category. 1.90 seconds when you have a bullet left in the gun is insanely fast. There is no other carbine that will reload at this speed at closer range, except for the AK-74U and the G36C. But those weapons are not suited to close range combat as much as the M4 is. So taking this faster reload speed, high rate of fire, longer range, faster muzzle velocity, you can see that the M4 is pretty much great at anything. The M16 in the assault rifle category is good at everything. The M4A1, when compared to the other carbines, is great at everything, but not excellent at everything. It's a step above the M4 or the M16 at everything, but the M4A1 with great reload speed at closer range will make this weapon an extremely powerful weapon at all ranges except for longer range combat like 600 meters. Now this is where the M4 starts to sort of suffer, but it's really not that bad. First shot recoil is 2.8, higher than some of the other carbines. Center speed is 18. Recoil up is 0.25. Left pull is 0.1. And right pull is 0.3. The carbines in general have bad spread values. At 0.4, it is 0.3 higher than the 0.1. This is getting really weird. of all the other assault rifles, so it's not good at longer range in terms of spread, but in terms of everything else, it is great. Now, the one bad thing about the M4A1 is its arguably bad controllability. With a right pull of 0.3 and a left pull of 0.1, your weapon will go exclusively to the right when firing at fully automatic. You have to be wary of this. Horizontal recoil throws your aim off more than anything else. So countering that horizontal recoil in any way possible is a great option. Either through burst firing or countering recoil, you gotta keep that right pull down. It's extremely important. Now let's go over my recommended stat changing attachments. These will try to exploit the M4A1's strengths and lessen its weaknesses. The heavy barrel unlocked at 80 kills will increase your vertical recoil to 0.288, increase your damage drop-off distance to 75 meters, therefore increasing its damage over range. It increases muzzle velocity to 650 meters per second. It will decrease aim down sight spread and increase hipfire spread. The increase in aim down sight spread is an extreme bonus due to the lower starting ADS spread of the carbines. The heavy barrel offers an extreme bonus over what the carbine has by default for its accuracy. As you can tell, the spread is a lot tighter than it would be without the heavy barrel. This is great for the M4 because of its longer range capabilities. Exploiting the heavy barrel's bonuses such as the increased muzzle velocity and increased damage drop-off will make this weapon a great viable option for medium to long range combat. It's extremely important to exploit these strengths of the M4 and augment them even further. The foregrip unlocked at 30 kills will decrease your horizontal recoil to 0.067 left and 0.201 pull right. It will also increase your aim down sight spread, making the carbine a little less viable at longer range because of its decreased accuracy. The foregrip adds a 66% decrease to your horizontal recoil on the right. It's a great addition. The M4 already has extremely high right pull, but with the addition of this foregrip, it makes it a lot easier to control, and you only have to primarily worry about vertical recoil. The laser sight unlocked at 20 kills is my next recommended attachment. It will decrease your hipfire spread to very acceptable levels, making it more viable in close range combat. The laser sight is a great addition to the M4, making it more viable in close range combat, but there are many more useful attachments you can put in that slot. Laser sight is a good attachment, but there's better ones you guys can go with. The flash suppressor unlocked at 175 kills will increase your hipfire spread, but decrease vertical recoil to 0.2. The starting vertical recoil for the M4A1 really isn't too great, but with the addition of the flash suppressor, it will keep that down to manageable levels, making it a little bit more easy to control, and you will only have to worry about your horizontal recoil. That is if you don't have the foregrip attached to it along with the flash suppressor. Now I'm going to reveal to you guys my recommended class setup for the M4A1. This class will be based around exploiting the M4A1's strengths and lessening its weaknesses to an extremely low level. Like usual, the optical attachment is up to you guys, but I like the Cobra sight best on this weapon. The foregrip and the heavy barrel are the two best attachments for the M4A1. You want to keep that horizontal recoil down, and you want to increase that accuracy at the same time. After much practice with this setup, I've come to find out that it is the best setup possible for this class. That can be swayed a little bit due to your opinions on what is more important, either decreasing accuracy, increasing accuracy, lowering recoil, increasing hipfire spread, whatever it may be. But lowering that horizontal recoil is the one key thing to using the M4A1. A 0.3 pull right is extremely unmanageable with a 0.1 pull left. As you guys could tell by that previous recoil demonstration, it primarily went to the right. A really heavy right recoil is hard to control, and along with that pretty much average vertical recoil, the M4A1 can be declared as an uncontrollable weapon when fired on full auto at longer range. The addition of that foregrip will keep that recoil down to manageable levels and make it actually viable when holding on the trigger for fully automatic fire. The heavy barrel is one of those attachments that the M4A1 cannot go without. It suits this weapon very well for many reasons. By default, the M4A1 has great muzzle velocity. It's comparable to some of the assault rifles. But with the addition of the heavy barrel, and being that the carbines are unique in that they get an increased muzzle velocity when the heavy barrel is attached, your weapon will shoot extremely fast, and your bullets will almost instantaneously get to their mark out to medium to longer range. The heavy barrel will also increase your maximum range drop-off, meaning you will get a 5 to 6 kill at longer distances than you would without the addition of the heavy barrel. The heavy barrel is great on carbines for two reasons. One, it increases their accuracy, and two, it increases their maximum range. The actual maximum range figure is not changed with the heavy barrel, but its theoretical range, with the addition of that increased muzzle velocity and the fact that its damage drop-off has now been increased, you can comfortably use the M4A1 at every single range except for super long-range combat. That is why the M4 can be declared as the best carbine in the class for everything in this game. There's no reason why you should not use the M4A1 as your primary go-to carbine because of these things. It is a great weapon, and there is no other carbine in the class that can do what the M4A1 can. And that is it for today's episode of the Armory. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video and you learned something new and useful. Next episode, I'll be reviewing the G36C carbine. Follow me on Twitter, the link is down in the description. Remember to thumb this video up if you enjoyed it. And as always, rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.